Welcome to Dugout Report, episode number 2. I am with Robbie Faulk from 247 Sports, covering Mississippi State for baseball. And welcome.
Thanks for having me on, man.
What are your thoughts on the season as of now, and what stood out to you?
Well, so far it's been kind of disappointing for Mississippi State, coming off of a national championship. Expectations were extremely high for this team coming in, and right now they're just trying to find themselves. They're 6-6, which is the worst start since 2008 for a Mississippi State team, and they just really struggled to find their identity early on. They lost some big pieces last year, and Tanner Allen and Will Bednar and Rowdy Jordan and guys like that. There's a lot of guys returning from last year's team, but you mix in a lot of young guys on this year's team, and this crew just hasn't found their identity yet. I think they're struggling in the pitching department. Landon Sims went down with an injury last week. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball last year, expected to be a first-round draft pick this year. It doesn't look good for him this season and returning to Mississippi State. So right now, Mississippi State's not in a great place, and they have a tough two-game set coming up with Texas Tech. So things have not started off well for the Bulldogs in 2022.
What do you think about their pitching rotation?
Well, I thought it had really kind of settled in nicely with Preston Johnson being inserted the last couple of weeks. He's pitched pretty well, and I thought it was a pretty good rotation with Landon Sims on Friday, Preston Johnson Saturday, and Cade Smith on Sunday. But now with Landon Sims going down, you've put yourself in a tough situation. I'm not sure how they figure out what to do there. I don't know if they're going to push the other two guys up a couple of days and find another starter on Sunday, or if they're going to throw somebody else in on Friday. I'm not sure what they do here, but it took a significant hit last week with Landon Sims going down with injury.
What are your expectations for the remainder of the season?
Just kind of up in the air right now, man. I don't know what is going to happen with this pitching rotation and with the bullpen. The bullpen has really struggled, and in baseball, most of the times the teams that are pitching the ball the best are the ones that kind of separate themselves because most of the teams in the SEC right now can hit well, especially in the SEC West. LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, all those teams have lineups that can really hit. The team that is able to separate themselves is going to be the one that can pitch it the best. And right now, Mississippi State's pitching really looks rough. And the bullpen, there's not many guys that you can count on there. Landon Sims is down as your Friday night starter, so you're down to only two guys that you feel really good about starting. So the pitching piece is a really big piece for Mississippi State right now. I feel like they're going to be able to hit the ball pretty well. But the pitching piece is what is concerning for Mississippi State moving forward.
What are your thoughts on the Texas Tech series?
It's going to be a tough one, and that's become a little bit of a rivalry, I think, for Mississippi State now, playing them the past few years, and State has done pretty well against them in these non-conference games, but I just don't know about their pitching setup going into these ball games. Parker Sonnett's going to throw on Tuesday. He's really struggled out of the bullpen and has not been a starter, so you're throwing him in there as a starter coming up on Tuesday, and then you got to play him again on Wednesday. And then you got your weekend series coming up. So I just don't know what to expect in this. I'm going to give the edge in both games to Texas Tech because they're playing much better right now. And I just don't know what to expect from this Mississippi State team at this point. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough two-game set for State, and they've played a tough schedule to this point. They played Long Beach State to kick off the season. Tulane's in the top 25 now, and they've played them. They got Texas Tech coming up as well, and you're about to get into conference play in a couple of weeks. State has really been battered here early on, and everybody's kind of gunning for them. And I expect that to be the case again on Tuesday and Wednesday against Texas Tech.
What team do you think has the most capability of winning the conference?
That's an interesting question. I've been kind of going back and forth on that this offseason and into this the first part of this year. I picked Ole Miss to win the West, and I think they have a good shot of winning the SEC too. Just because I like their lineup. I think their lineup's going to be the toughest lineup to get through in the SEC as the season progresses. And I think they have some pieces in the bullpen to be really good. Their starting rotation is the big question mark for them. Can they get a rotation that they feel really good about and they don't have to rely so heavily on the bullpen? If they're able to do that, I think they have a great shot. And I think LSU's got a pretty good shot because of what they have offensively, and they've gotten a little better pitching. But right now, I think I would give the edge to Ole Miss.
And my last question is, what do you think about the LSU series down the road for you guys?
What's interesting about that is MSU's had more success at LSU in the last 15 years than they've had at home against LSU. State's won a couple of series there. State has not won a series at home against LSU, I think, since 2007 or 2006. 2006, I think. So that has been a roadblock that Mississippi State has just not been able to get over. And looking at this team this year and looking at LSU's lineup, I don't see how I could predict Mississippi State to win that series right now. So it's going to be another tough one. State went there last year and won that series, had a pretty good weekend down there. This one's going to be really difficult for the Bulldogs. We'll see. That's a long way away, and who knows what's going to happen between those two teams between now and then. But right now, I would definitely give LSU the upper hand in that series.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching some of these games. And thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks.